1. Six.
Once again, first opportunity.
7.
Try and get the black back on its spot. Very good shot.
So similar, these
14.
two, in the fact that they can go to the table with a very complex situation awaiting them, and within a few shots, suddenly you start to think we could see a substantial break here. In the 8th frame last night, it turned out to be the penultimate one against Matthew Stevens. Hendry made a 65,
15.
which required a whole array of positional skill. That's just one of thousands in his career, Willie.
Yes, it's still not a frame-winning opportunity yet until
22.
he plays this little cannon here, which he'll play. He'll just nudge the red nearest the black out of the way of the other red. And now that one
23.
shot, well, he didn't really want to push it safe, but that one shot has now opened the game up. It's a perfect pack to go into from the blue, so he doesn't have to worry about trying to get onto the black to go into them.
30.
Such a big target.
$31.
Similar situation to what we've talked about all week. He's got the loose red, but if he doesn't get on it this time properly, that's why 9 times out of 10 Hendry goes into them in this situation. Just to stop that possibility of only having one chance. It's just about as bad as they could have gone.
36.
Yes, but the red closest to the cue ball will chip in.
Got to be careful, isn't it? This thin. Perfect.
37.
Stephen, yesterday when he came up to chat with Dave and I after the match, was saying that the cue ball appeared to be picking particles up either from the new cloth that's been put on or from the carpet. He said this wasn't happening in the early rounds, just after the new cloth had been put on. This Stevens' highest break of the match so far, and a very, very important time to get it. It's a level 45. At 2-2. We can have a little look at the white now. There's been 3 more shots played since he's had the cue ball cleaned. We'll see if we can 52. Find any dust particles on the white this time. Well, there you can see them on top of the cue ball. That's amazing, isn't it? So this is coming off the cloth. Just look at the top of the white ball there. It's almost like my head. Just a couple of hairs.
I'm disappointed about that, Willie. You took the words out of my mouth.
53.
So this may be a bad batch of cloth, this one they put on. They always change it at the semi-final stage. No problems with that throughout the week. But certainly in the last 2 matches they've been complaining about that.
Okay, so the lead is now 60, but 7 red still on the table.
60.
That means 83 points still there.
61.
So still one more red and colour needed. And it looks though he's going to have to play some sort of cannon. I don't know whether one of those reds will pot in the right-hand corner. We'll certainly tell after this positional shot. Well, that tells us it certainly does pot. So that's a great shot and a frame winner.
64. $65.
Oh, O'Sullivan's missed one black off the spot. And I can't remember him missing another easy pot. He'll be disappointed, it's 2 each.
Yes, he also missed a black in frame 3 that was very tricky, only maybe a third of a pocket to aim at.
71.
It's too dramatic to start talking about
72.
psychological impact. But I think at the interval, Hendry will be feeling marginally the better of the two.
The harder it hits this cue ball, the wider the cue ball will go, so he's got to be careful he doesn't lose the cue ball if he's got any aspirations of a century. You see, that was always going to be the problem. End of break.
Well,
79.
only 59 on the table. O'Sullivan surely will not come back to the table. Futile, it would be. Well, how about that for sorting out a plant? In the context of the match, it didn't mean an awful lot. But to Stephen Hendry it did, because
87.
his thirst for century breaks can never be quenched.
88. $94. 95.
He's done it 613 times before in competition. Hendry, the century king.
108. 110.
You know, he was 2-0 down against John Higgins in the quarterfinals and made 133 total clearance
113.
to get himself into gear. He was 2-0 down here.
117.
Now the cue being delivered with authority.
122.